The Comeback, Finding Voice podcast with Mo and Joe.
Oh, it's going.
Welcome back.
Welcome. Guess who we have here? Come on, participate. We got this little guy about almost 2 weeks ago. So he's going to be our guest, cute fluff, today.
You're going to be occupied with that bone.
I know.
So what are we talking about today, sis?
So today our topic is on closure and learning to leave things cleanly rather than leaving them open-ended and, just leaving you wondering. So why we would want to leave things cleanly and why we want to have closure, just so you know why you should tune in today, is because when you leave things open, it's kind of like this gaping, what am I supposed to do with this? And it's a lot of wasted energy. It's a lot of energy going towards should I do something with this person? Am I supposed to avoid this person forever? There's a lot of unmade decisions and there's a lot of unsettled emotions and thoughts that are just left to chance. You don't know what you're going to do with it. So recently I was advised by someone I trust, my astrologer, to really clear the path for my future in regards to two people specifically who would really hurt me and come to terms with it, come to peace with it, and bring it to a close.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and that closure doesn't necessarily have to come from the other person, right? Because I think when we're younger, we did want that closure from the person. If we, this is just an example, if we broke up with someone and they fucked up and we want that apology. We want him to say sorry for all the shit that I've done to you and that I've hurt you. That's what you want.
Exactly.
But, that's a lot to expect, I feel. And it's something you can't control because it's somebody else's, thoughts and feelings. And maybe they don't feel that way. So.
Right. No, absolutely. Definitely what I was talking to Sis about earlier was how when I was younger, we would always have this thing in our friend circle where it would be but you need closure. Did you get closure? Really? Did you get closure? You need to go back and get that closure. And it was always this thing where we felt we had to get it. And I know I myself, and this isn't just for romantic relationships. The two that I'm going through right now is actually not romantic. It's actually working relationships and friends. Mm-hmm. And sorry, while the puppy, fights with me on my.
I guess the other thing that I was thinking about that you probably have a lot of insight into is if we can't get it from the person, right? So let's say we can't talk to the person or we just choose not to talk to the person. How are other ways we can get closure?
Right. And so that's the thing is relying on someone else to give you that closure is really setting you up for failure. In the best case scenario, of course, that person will acknowledge how they hurt you. And that's the best case scenario. But what we really want to focus on today is having closure within yourself. Mm-hmm. Because like Mo said, you cannot control what the other person is going to say, what they're going to do. And oftentimes when we seek closure from another person, we expect them to respond in a certain way. We expect them to be sensitive. We expect them to apologize. Whatever your apology love language is, which might be a good topic for another time. We'll expect a certain script to play out. And unfortunately, it doesn't always play out that way. And so really what I've come to find is that a lot of it has to come from within yourself. And so I don't know if I should just jump in and talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
yeah,
mean,
anything
I
else?
was thinking about like, because you were saying the closure doesn't have to be about from like coming from a breakup or a romantic relationship. So I was trying to think about other types of closures that I've experienced, or like how I would deal with like people that have left my life or whatever. Um, and I definitely like you were saying, when I was younger, I definitely wanted that, and I actually pushed for it.
Yes.
Which is not great, because not only is it like, not only are they not going to fulfill your expectation of what you want, but it's just putting you back to the spot you don't want to be. Like, you're getting closure so you can close that chapter, but by trying to get closure, you're like inserting another chapter in there of that relationship. So
especially
like,
when it's like a toxic relationship. I don't know if you guys, who are watching, have ever had toxic relationships, friendships, and sometimes you just need to know that walking away and coming to terms with the ending and completion of it within yourself. You just need to know that that's something you need to do for you, because like Mo said, going back, I have repeatedly gone back in past relationships when I was younger, repeatedly, because I wanted that happy ending. There was like a pride of me to like leave things beautiful, perfectly packaged. Like, I could not be okay with it looking messy or someone hating me. Like, I just couldn't deal with that before. But that was more to do with my not accepting myself than them not accepting myself. So I really appreciate that. And like, another thing of closure is, big losses, like you've said, of people when people die. And how do you have that closure? So what do you think are the best, like the main components or important points for our viewers to remember when trying to get that closure, when coming to completion within yourself?
I think, okay, 2 points that I think I want to make is like, the first one is that sometimes it's okay to feel that. Like, to feel like that piece is not complete yet. It's like it's uncomfortable and it sucks. But I think sometimes sitting in that and not reacting right away is what's necessary, like, it's like, it gives you some pause to think, like, what about that, whatever, like relationship, or what about that loss, do you feel you need for closure? Because I think we're too fast to say, like, oh, I want this, like, give it to me, like, from the other person, but we haven't really materialized in ourselves, like in our own minds, like what we actually want. So like for example, like if I'm trying to think about, like, I'll talk about like my most recent loss, which is like my grandpa. Like, he passed away, and I guess there was some kind of closure in the sense that I got to talk to him before he passed away. I'm not sure if he heard me or whatever, but I did talk to him. And even if he wasn't there, I feel like just me being able to voice like how much I love him, and like that we're gonna be okay, like those kind of words, even if, like, let's say for some reason the FaceTime like call just dropped, like in my heart I feel like that's all I needed to say for myself, like I just needed to know that I'm gonna be okay, grandma's gonna be okay, mom's gonna be okay. Like, that was just comfort to myself. Like, I need him to tell me. Of course it would have been great if he was there and he was like reacting and like whatever, but sometimes you just need the words to say to yourself, and that's why you need that closure, Yeah.
So, and what are the, I don't know if we can break it down this scientifically, but I'm always a fan of actionable steps. Like, what are the main components for you when you were able to get that closure?
And I think that's like different for every case, of course, but like the questions that I ask myself are pretty, I guess, could apply to different situations. Like, for that situation, I was like, what would I want grandpa to tell me, or what would I want to tell grandpa?
Mm.
And then like if it's like not a loss, but like a relationship, I would think like, what's the ideal situation? Like, what would have been the ideal situation? What would have been the ideal response? And I'd write it down. Like, I think journaling is like so healing, at least for me.
Yes.
Like, so I would write down like what I would want to hear from the person.
Yeah.
Like as them.
Mm.
Like what wounds that I had. So like that's
ideal, like the
that was actionable, but
response.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, sis?
For me, I think I would want to name, when it's like a result of closure from like conflict within yourself, like you felt wronged or it was conflict.
Mm-hmm.
I think the most important part is naming what happened from just a facts perspective and owning my feelings and the impact their actions or words had on me. So when you said this or when you did this, I felt like really hurt, or that was like rude, or that was really fucked up. So owning it, having that, and then in some cases, in my most recent case, I think it's just like letting people know, like, hey, this hurt and this was a boundary of mine, and that's not okay with me. I think for a case like loss, which has been has happened to both of us, it would be like very similar to yours, where I would talk about what I appreciate about that person, what they gave to me, like what gifts I've gotten from them, maybe lessons I've learned. And then like, for me, it was also reassuring, like Kai and Koa, like, hey, we're going to be okay. It's okay for you to go. For my grandpa, I was in 8th grade at the time when grandpa passed away. So for me, I think I would imagine that him hearing that, and by the way, grandpa totally heard you. I just wanted to say that. Like, he hears you even if it's not over FaceTime. Just like saying, hey, we're going to be okay. You don't have to worry about us. You do what you need to do to feel complete or safe, or to move on to your next step, whatever your belief is. But for my family, we grew up Buddhist. So the whole thing was they need to leave and go to their next stage, whatever or wherever that is. No, like, I'm going to be okay. And I know for you, I love the part where you told your grandpa, like, I'm going to do good in school, you know, like you set goals for yourself in the future, which as your sister and best friend, like hearing that, it was very, very different hearing that than from like when you lost Mike. And it was very, like, we cried together about grandpa. And at the same time, like, I knew, like, wow, what a gift for a grandfather to be able to hear his granddaughter. Like, that reassurance of knowing she's going to be okay and she's going to thrive. I couldn't want anything more at the end of my life for a grandparent or parent, you know? I think the most part is like just getting clear on the impact on you. So there's different types of closure, as you can see, right? Sometimes it requires talking to someone about it, the person directly. Sometimes it requires you going within yourself. Sometimes it requires you talking to your closest friends about it. And how you do it is going to look different for every person, but also every situation. And also, like, we have changed in how we deal with closure.
Oh, yeah.
Now, compared to, like, in our teens, you know, over 20 some years ago. But, like, why I was really excited to bring this topic to you is because, like, I feel like there's such a fear around confrontation. Whether that's confrontation with you and me, or confrontation with like the deep emotions that it's stirring up.
Mm.
And when you come face to face with your own like shadows or the dark, you know, when you come face to face with that, which is like little battles in your heart, I feel like you just start growing and healing rather than stuffing them down. But again, there's a distinction. I'm like talking so much. I love your distinction earlier where you said, sis, like sometimes you just got to go within.
Mm.
Like that's so important.
Yeah. Make sure to let us know about your situations that like you've either tried to get closure or you failed to get closure, things like that. Comment down below.
Hello, and we so appreciate you. And you guys, you have to like this video.
I know.
This will do some more crazy hairstyles like last time.
I was thinking spiked hair, maybe.
That would be really cool. I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Bye. Make sure to like and subscribe. Kuma wave.
Say something. Say something.
What?
Oh, no, I wanted him to do his head tilt for you guys.
Oh. Bloop, 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 bloop. What is here?
Call his name.
Kuma. Kuma. Hi. Oh, hi. Bye, guys.
All right, bye, guys.